Do you remember your first love? I remember everything, vividly, painfully, as if it happened yesterday. I've been married for 15 years. We have a child, a stable home, a happy family on the surface. Except for the part where I still can't let go of the one I loved first. I remember her eyes, her hair, her scent. I remember how strong our love was, how intense the passion felt, how it swallowed us whole. And here I am now, a grown man, a husband, a father. Yet inside me still lives the boy, who loved her like his entire life depended on it. I thought time would heal it, that the years would blur her face, erase her voice, mute the echo of her laugh, the way she looked at me like I was her entire world. But 15 years have passed. I got married, built a home, changed jobs, held a newborn at 3 a.m., did everything a good husband and father is supposed to do. And still, there's a space inside me that only her memory fills. Sometimes I wake up next to my wife, and for a split second expect to see her lying beside me. Sometimes I catch myself searching for her features in strangers on the street. Sometimes a familiar perfume hits me, and I feel that same ache I felt the day she walked away. I've never told anyone this. Not my wife, not my friends. Because how do you admit that you still love someone who hasn't been in your life for 15 years? The truth is simple and cruel. I love my wife, but my first love, I never truly let her go. And sometimes, I think, a part of me is still living in that past, in that youth, in that fire, in those arms I lost. And maybe we'll never stop longing for.
I'm dating a married man, and I want to destroy his marriage. I know how this sounds. I know what kind of person this makes me. Believe me, I've called myself every horrible name you're thinking right now. But none of that changes the truth. I'm seeing a married man, and I want his marriage to fall apart. When we first met, I told myself it was innocent. Just flirting. Just emotional attention. Just two people who liked the way the other made them feel. But married men are dangerous like that. They know exactly how to give you just enough to keep you hungry. He told me his marriage was cold, that his wife didn't understand him, didn't appreciate him, that they were basically roommates. I believed every word. I wanted to, because the more he complained about her, the more special I felt. And then one night, we crossed the line. There was no going back after that. He still lives with her, still comes home to her, still shares a life with her that I pretend doesn't exist. But I'm the one he confides in. I'm the one he texts first thing in the morning. I'm the one who sees the version of him he claims she killed years ago. And somewhere along the line, I stopped wanting to be the secret. I want the whole thing. His time, his attention, his life, and yes, his divorce. I stalk his wife's social media, analyze every photo, every caption, every hint of a crack in their marriage. Sometimes I imagine sending her screenshots, messages, proof, something that would make the whole thing finally explode. He always says, "Not yet, it's complicated, give me time." But time is a luxury I'm running out of. I'm tired of being the other woman, tired of hiding, tired of living in the shadow of someone I've never even met. I know I'm playing with fire. I know I'm becoming the villain in someone else's story. But if destroying their marriage is the only way to stop destroying myself, I don't know if I'm strong enough not to do it.
7 years of marriage, routine, holidays, work, responsibilities. a whole separate life. And then one afternoon, I walked into a cafe, and there she was, my ex, my almost forever. The woman who once held my entire world in her hands. She looked older, but in a beautiful, real way. The same eyes, the same smile, the same quiet warmth that once made me believe I could be better than I was. She said my name like she'd been keeping it somewhere safe. And in that moment, something in me cracked open. We talked. Just talked. About life, work, mistakes, her moving back to the city. Nothing inappropriate. Nothing dangerous. Except the part where my heart remembered her. As if no time had passed. I walked home that night with a feeling I hadn't felt in years. That stupid, painful rush of falling for someone you should have left in the past. My wife noticed immediately. She asked why I was quiet, distant, why I kept smiling at nothing. How do you tell your wife that seeing your ex again felt like waking up from a long sleep? I tried to shake it off. Tried to convince myself it was nostalgia, just old emotions tricking me. But the truth is, I fell in love again. Not the wild, reckless love of our 20s. The deeper kind. The kind that feels like recognition. The worst part? She didn't flirt. She didn't cross lines. She didn't try to destroy my marriage. She was just herself. And that alone was enough to ruin my balance. Now I lie beside my wife at night, trying to remember why my heart stopped choosing her, trying to kill the feeling before it grows roots. But every time I close my eyes, I see the woman I once lost, and the man I used to be, standing beside her. I don't know what to do. I don't want to break my family. But I also can't pretend my heart didn't wake up in a way I thought was gone forever. And the cruelest part? She has no idea what she brought back to life in me.
I never meant for any of this to happen, but intentions don't matter when the consequences are this big and this permanent. I cheated on my boyfriend one night. One stupid, reckless, selfish night. It wasn't planned. It wasn't romantic. It wasn't even meaningful. It was loneliness, anger, a moment of wanting to feel wanted by someone, anyone, because I convinced myself he didn't love me enough. And then everything spiraled. A few weeks later, I found out I was pregnant. My boyfriend was overjoyed. He cried, actually cried, holding the test in his hands. He kept saying things like, "This is the best moment of my life." And all I felt was fear, because deep down I knew the truth. The timing didn't match. The dates didn't line up. This baby might not be his. I told myself that maybe the universe would be kind, that maybe it was his, that maybe the guilt would fade if I just played along. But every time he kisses my stomach, every time he talks to the baby like it's already his whole world, I feel like I'm suffocating under a truth I can't say out loud. People always imagine cheating as passion, excitement, danger, but they never show this part. The quiet horror of living with a lie so heavy, you can barely breathe. I watch him building furniture for the nursery, choosing names, telling everyone how happy he is, how this child is our miracle. And I smile, and nod, and die a little inside every single time. I don't know what scares me more, telling him the truth, or letting him love a child that might not be his. Either way, I lose. Either way, someone gets destroyed. And the cruelest part? The baby didn't ask for any of this, but they'll live in the shadow of my mistake. Every single day.
I don't know when it started, or maybe I just don't want to admit it. But the truth is, I manipulate people so they'll feel sorry for me. Not because I enjoy hurting anyone, not because I'm evil or heartless, but because pity is the only kind of attention I've ever been sure I could get. It began with small things, exaggerating a bad day, crying over problems that weren't as dramatic as I made them sound, acting more helpless than I really was. And people responded. They comforted me, listened to me, stayed close to me. It felt like validation, like proof that I mattered to someone. But then it escalated. I started twisting stories, leaving out details, telling half-truths that made me look more fragile, more broken, more in need of saving. And the worst part? It worked every time. Friends checked on me constantly. Coworkers covered for me. Romantic partners treated me gently, afraid I'd shatter. It became my identity, the girl who needed protection. But here's the thing no one sees. I'm not fragile. I'm just terrified of being ignored. When I'm happy, no one notices. When I'm fine, people drift away. When I'm strong, they assume I don't need them. So I learned to be weak on purpose. And now I don't know how to stop. Every time something goes wrong in my life, a part of me wonders if I let it happen, just so I'd have something to talk about. Something that keeps people close. I hate this version of myself. I hate that I've become dependent on pity, on the soft looks, on the gentle tones, on the attention that comes only when I'm breaking. I don't know how to be loved without being miserable. And the irony? The more people comfort me, the lonelier I actually feel. Because I know deep inside that none of it is real. They're not comforting me. They're comforting the version of me I created for them.
I dream about leaving my family, but I can't because of the kids. I know how this sounds. I know what kind of man this makes me. But this is the truth. I can't say out loud to anyone. I dream about leaving my family. Not because I hate them. Not because I'm unhappy every minute of the day. But because somewhere along the way, my life stopped feeling like mine. I wake up next to my wife and feel nothing. Not anger, not love, just a quiet, heavy emptiness, the kind that settles into your bones and refuses to leave. We don't fight. We don't kiss. We don't touch unless we have to. We move around each other like two people who accidentally ended up in the same life and are too tired to start over. But the worst part? The kids. God, the kids. They look at me like I'm their hero, like I'm the safest place in the world, like I'm someone worth staying for. And that's why I feel trapped. Because I know that if I walk out, even if I do it quietly, respectfully, carefully, I will shatter their world. I will break something in them that I can't fix by showing up every other weekend, with ice cream and apologies. Some nights, when everyone is asleep, I sit in the living room and picture a different life. One where I can breathe. One where I wake up without this crushing weight on my chest. One where I can be a man again instead of a ghost in my own home. And then I hear my daughter turning in her bed, or my son whispering in his sleep, and the fantasy evaporates. Because I can handle being unhappy, but I can't handle being the reason they learn what heartbreak feels like. So I stay. Not because I'm strong. Not because I'm noble. But because the freedom I want costs more than I'm willing to make my children pay. And that's the cruelest part of all.